What up, friends? I'm a hot issue. No, okay. We're gonna be reviewing Hot Issues, debut mini album, Issue Maker. This is the debut project by the K-pop girl group Rookies, Hot Issue. These girls are definitely new to the game, however they have some pretty confident and fun showmanship already. Taking the anthemic girl power bangers from groups like Blackpink, but grounding them a bit really helps the girls' sound overall. While I do think the B-sides can be a bit spotty here and there, I think the group does show potential, and it's definitely a sound that I think is fun and hope they hone in more as their careers go forward. We kick it off with the lead single, Gratata. There's immediate fun to be had with the "I'm a famous sniper" line, which shows up constantly in the song, actually. Some people don't really like the sort of talk rap that is done in the first verse on this song, among other songs as well. However, I'm a pretty big fan of it, and I think it showcases the sort of badass attitude that they're supposed to be having, especially with all the gun metaphors and stuff in the lyrics. There's some decent build-up to the chorus, and while I'm a bit tired of the onomatopoeia drop choruses these days, I do think the beat is pretty punchy, and they pull it off relatively well. The switch up in the second verse with the lower tones in both the vocals and the instrumentals, it's catchy as hell. I love the second verse, honestly. The bridge adds some synth and vocal flares to keep the energy high, along with some subtle piano thrown in here and there as well. It was pretty surprising, but I am a fan, to say the least. Strong vocal performances and flows fit the sort of femme fatale lyrics about them always getting the person that they want. It's pretty fun. With Dunga Dunga, we have a similar sounding trap pop banger here, although with a little bit more dark and fairy tale-like edges to it. This is especially shown in the twinkling synths that rear their heads up every so often, along with that pulsing electro bass. The sinister sounding dance chorus is really fun, especially with those ad-libs, and that fucking dentist drill synth that comes in here and there. It's a wild yet also very catchy addition to the song. The girls are not here to play, and they want you to know it. I find that this track also does a very good job in balancing the singing and the rapping. They effortlessly switch between the two, which is cool to see. The piano has a bit more of an important role in this track's bridge compared to the previous, although it's done just as well, and it fits the very dramatic nature of the track. It's sort of a bad bitch anthem, which fits with lyrics like about how people roll out the red carpet for them as they look their way. Next up, it's Slow Jam Time with Hide in the Dark. Some of the best vocals on the mini album appear on this song. It's pretty great. The flux in tone is super smooth too, especially in the "don't know what to do, I lost my way" line. There's a super skeletal beat making up a good chunk of this song, with the piano and the beat basically forming the entire instrumental up until we get to the first chorus. It is a pretty good build-up to said chorus though. When the chorus hits and those strings come in, the beat gets a bit heavier, it's a pretty magical moment, honestly. I do think the rap is well done, however the transition between the singing and the rapping isn't as good as the previous track. There really is a lot of passion put into this song, and it shows. The guitar solo in the outro that's kind of muffled but wailing away in the background, it's a nice touch. It's surprising to say the least, but it fits in well. I will say that the beat might be a bit too skeletal for my liking in the verses, but it's a great track overall, and it doesn't really hamper my experiences too much, especially when the choruses and the bridge come in. I think the lyrics are pretty interesting too, talking about how the girls actually want to hide in the dark, how it's kind of like a safe haven from other people where they can be in their own thoughts. It's like a poignant introvert's anthem of sorts. Purple, however, is by far my least favorite on the mini album and kind of embodies pretty much all the problems that I have with the mini album as a whole. It's far too sparse and simple beat-wise for my taste, and the weird clicking that's a part of it doesn't really sit well in my ears. It does have a pretty nice groove in the bass, and when the chorus comes in, I think it's pretty cute, especially when they add the keys. However, I just don't think it really showcases a lot of their charms and skills very well, honestly. It just stays in one place a lot. It doesn't add a lot of new and fresh instrumentals or really anything to change things up. It's just a bit boring. There's some pretty decent rap flows here and there, but it's just not enough to save this one, unfortunately. Finally, we got Wego. That whistling synth is a fun intro to what is essentially an early 2000s synth pop bop. Try saying that 5 times fast. I guess it is a bit generic, but it does have some pretty lively energy and some fun flows and instrumentals. The bouncy vocals fit right into the cute and playful beat, and as the synths flow and swell into the celebration of a chorus, it's pretty nice to see. It's just a really light and catchy track overall, especially when they pick up the pace a bit during the second verse. I just wish there was a little more oomph behind it. The lyrics do a pretty good job in capturing the whimsy of being in love, along with some pretty descriptive metaphors on each part of that process. Some of those being lightheadedness, ribbons in your stomach. You should probably call your doctor if you have those. Overall, this is a project that, while not perfect, actually makes me hungry for more. That's saying something too, because I'm not usually into this side of K-pop at all, with the trap pop bangers and such. The idea of a rap-focused girl group in the current K-pop scene is something that I've been kind of hoping for, so I really do hope they continue to hone their sound and kind of just put themselves out there even more down the road. I think Hot Issue have a pretty nuanced take on the genres that they're tackling here. However, it is pretty obvious that the B-sides were not really given as much treatment as the lead single, I will say. I also hope that they use less sparse beats going forward. Like, this is a group where you want a lot of power behind it. They have energy in their flows and their rapping. Like, if you're a rap-focused group, you want energy. You want power. So when you stick them on a skeletal beat where nothing's going on, like Purple, kind of doesn't do their talents any service, you know? You want to make it count. I'm feeling a decent 6 on Hot Issues debut project. Of course, we do have to talk about the album cover on this show, and I actually think this is a pretty good album cover. I will say that the G, probably for Gratata, it doesn't really make sense as the cover of a mini album because the mini album's called Issue Maker. It's not called Gratata. So I feel like if they were to just go with the Target reticle, it has that sort of grungy look to it. I think it would have been a lot better than trying to incorporate the G. Maybe if they were to use I, the letter I, for Issue Maker, it would have made a bit more sense, although I don't think they should have done that because I don't see how it would have worked very well. But honestly, just the image of the sniper reticle with the grungy look over it, I think that's striking enough. I don't think they really had to incorporate the G, but it's a pretty good cover overall. It's very graphic, very bold. I like it. Anyway, those were my thoughts on the debut project by these rookies. What do you guys think? Is this a group to keep an eye out for, or did they not impress you very much? Let me know. And until the next one, farewell.